Welcome back to the channel, guys. A beautiful, foggy afternoon shore dive. I saw the weather and I knew that there would be zero wind today, but I really didn't expect it to be like this. It's really creepy because you look around and you can't see the shore, but if you got a GPS and a compass, it's fine. Or if you know where you're going, it's fine. Still looks very apocalyptic.
I landed amongst the boulders and was greeted by a shoal of pollock. I found bass hanging with them in the past, so I held off shooting anything in hopes of finding one of those. This large wrasse really got my hopes up in the dirty water, until I realised what it was.
That's not something you see every day.
Like many other cephalopods, squid can readily change the colour of their skin. They do this with special pigment cells called chromophores contained in their skin. By changing the size of the cells, they can change the colour of their skin and even create patterns. Squid have a relatively short lifespan, usually around 3 to 5 years. With a solid meal in my catch bag, I decided to have one more dive to see if any bass were hanging around. I didn't hold high hopes as the water was still 8 degrees Celsius.
Well, it's time to head in now. It's getting a bit late. And I've got work tomorrow. Got my kraken. The kraken, an octopus or a squid? I think it was a squid. Anyway, got my squid. We've had a bit of a cook up tomorrow night, so stick around to see that. I haven't cooked a squid in about 8 or 9 years. It's been a long time. Oh, it's crazy, all the people on the beach, they just look like black blobs. Can't see anything. You can hardly see down this beach at all. It's mental. It's fog at 6:30 p.m. Just have a look at it.
I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, I've seen it in the morning, smoke on the water, but this is just insane. Look at it. You can't see 100 yards down that beach. You can see a few silhouettes of people, but that's it. It is quite a big squid. Pretty happy with that. Never shot a squid in this country. I've never even seen one in the UK. I didn't really know they got them here. I knew they got them in the Mediterranean, but not here. Such a cool looking animal. These are the two main tentacles that it uses to actually catch its prey, and you can see here that anything that sticks to them is just not getting out. If you're a bait fish, that's end of game. You know, you can pick up a rock like this. It's phenomenal, these little parts. I think they're also pretty tasty as well. 8 degrees. It's better with a wetsuit on. When I landed that squid, I put out on my Instagram story, how should I cook this thing? I got dozens of responses from you guys out there. Thank you so much. The majority, salt and pepper style squid, or just plain in a pan, very quickly, flash fry it. Or the other one was a stuffed type squid. I've decided I'm going to do a chorizo stuffed squid with little parts of the wings in the tube, and then I'm also going to be doing just some olive oil in a pan, very hot, quick fried, just to really taste the squid and see how tough it actually is, because some people said freeze it first, tenderize it, do this, do that. Other people said you don't need to do anything, just eat it fresh. So we'll see how it turns out. However you're going to cook a squid, the first thing you need to do is clean it. Because this squid is so large, I'm not going to cook the entire thing at once. I'm going to take the wings off here, skin it, and I'm going to do a stuffed section of tube here. Then I'm going to cut some sections out of the upper part of the body to flash fry with olive oil, and then I will keep the tentacles as well at the front to fry up as well, because they look pretty damn tasty. Essentially, you start on the head by pulling it out of the body. There's the guts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just in front of the eyes for the head, and I've actually hit its beak there. That there is the beak of the squid, which it actually sits inside all the tentacles like this. So when the food comes in, that's what it chomps it up with, which is slightly terrifying. Now inside the squid, what actually keeps the body rigid is this piece of cartilage. It's actually what they call the feather inside it, and in the cuttlefish, they have the big cuttlefish that you see, the big cuttle shell that birds eat and that sort of stuff in an aviary. But I've accidentally snapped this off, which is a bit of a bastard to try and get it out now. You want to get inside. So there it comes. Actually quite a spectacular piece of backbone engineering there, and that's what it looks like all in one go, but that's probably where I shot it through, so you can discard this part. Next stage, removing the wings. They come off pretty easily. You can just peel them off, get your fingers under the skin, and they should come off nice and easy. That's one of the wings there. Once you get between the skin and the actual wing, it's very easy to peel off. That's the other wing. Now that is your main squid tube there, but to clean out the inside, we're just going to inside it out like a sock. This is sometimes also referred to as the hood of the squid, the tube, the body, the sock, whatever you want to call it, but you basically just inside it out like you're turning a sock inside out. There you go. Just rolling it back on itself, and there you can give that a proper wash and get rid of all the guts on the inside, which is now the outside. I'm only feeding two of us, so I'm just going to cut the squid about there to make a stuffed section, and then the rest of it I'm going to slice up, lozenge, and then we will fry that up. You can see it's a nice thick tube. And if you wanted to do deep fried calamari, you would just cut your rings off this and salt and pepper them, deep fry them however you want to do them. But I just want to try something a little bit different because I get salt and pepper squid at the pub all the time. With the wing, I'm just going to cut it into small cubes to put inside with the chorizo when I fry it up. So, cubed wings. With the thicker part of the tube, what I'm going to do is lozenge it and then cut it into strips, and I'll flash fry that with some olive oil in the pan. So you just want to go about halfway through. You really want a super sharp knife for this. This Wusthof is turbo sharp because I just sharpened it. And a nice crisscross pattern without going through to the other side. And now it's easy just to cut into your strips. And there's your finished lozenged squid pieces. For the onions and chorizo, I'm just going to dice them up really fine. Every time with an onion. I'm also going to make a green parsley sauce to put over the stuffed squid. Parsley, garlic clove, olive oil, salt, pepper in one of these little ergo blendery things, and job done. I wonder if this will look cool if I shoot it at 100 frames per second. For those playing at home, I added a little bit of lemon juice to this and some capers just to give it a little bit more of a hit. It wasn't really getting as liquidy as I wanted just with the olive oil and parsley and salt and pepper, so that's the additions. Chorizo is pretty oily as it is, so you don't really need to put anything in the pan before you do this. The onion and chorizo will kind of cook in there as it goes. Before anyone comments, yes, I know my pan is in terrible condition. If anyone out there works at, say, Le Creuset, hook me up, please. All I'm trying to do here is soften the onion a bit, and you can see all the oil that's coming off the chorizo. Now I'm just going to get that pan really hot with the residual oil that's in there from the chorizo, bang in the squid wing, and then I'll mix that all together and we'll stuff the tube. That's actually quite tender, those flaps on the side. Flaps, wings. I've never actually stuffed a squid before, but it can't be that hard, right? Now you don't want to overfill it because, like most meats, squid shrinks a little bit when it cooks. And then because I don't have any toothpicks, I am using a sliced up chopstick to seal it off. And then we're going to throw that in the pan. I cooked the squid quickly on a high heat just until I got some color on the edges. Slice halfway through the tube to reveal the delicious stuffing. Finish off with the green parsley sauce. Bon appetit. I don't think that looks half bad. We'll see what it tastes like. Let's try the normal squid first. A little bit of lemon on it. That is good. That is way more tender than I expected it to be. I thought that it was going to be like rubber because everyone said you had to freeze it or put it in milk or kiwi fruit, but that was spot on. Let's try the stuffed part of the squid with my little sauce on it. Using my knife and fork terribly, but you know, as you do. Mmm. That part was actually a little bit more chewy. Maybe I cooked it a little bit too heavy. Would have been better on the barbecue, but still very delicious. I'm going to enjoy all of this meal and yeah, get off the camera so I can get back to actually having a real meal instead of making YouTube videos. See you on the next one.